Hello and welcome again. I'm Bob Burrell on Seven Rivers Talk with the second segment of our program, but not the least as important. My guest today is Ben Kuehmichel. Ben is a software engineer, a good friend, and he has brought some information for all of us on the upcoming legislation taking place both in the Senate and the House, or the Senate and the Assembly here in the state of Wisconsin. It's very critical and important information. Before we get into that, Ben, tell us quickly, if you can, about our tea parties that are going on here. The April 15th is Tax Tea Party date. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's going to happen down in Madison, I believe.
Exactly right. And our friend Jake Speed will be down there with many of the Tea Party people from around here as well. Also on April 16th, don't forget we have another program going on at the Radisson, which has to do with the Wisconsin Special Rail, the Speed Rail. So those are two very important upcoming dates. But right now, let's talk with Ben Kuehmichel about this legislation that's going to be in front of the Senate here within a very short time.
So Bob, this bill really is to change some of our voting registration and absentee ballot requirements.
Right.
What it wants to do is take the information from the DOT, all of the driver's license records, all the car registration records, and register all of those people to vote. They want to put that in a database to be overseen by a government accountability board, and just get all of those people onto the voting record so that there's not as much difficulty for them to go in and do same-day registration. One of the problems with this, though, is there's an awful lot of people in Wisconsin that have driver's license who aren't citizens, who don't have the right to vote. This would include, illegal aliens. This would include people who have work visas to come to the United States. This would include students who might be voting back in their own home district. So just because they have a driver's license here doesn't make them eligible. Do we really want to register them automatically? Another problem with that, creating this database of voter information, is, do you really trust the state to keep your data private?
Exactly. It's my very question. Why would we want to have the government be looking at our private property, so to speak, our very valuable data that is ours?
Right. And more than just having this database put together, they're going to release a lot of this information on the internet for anybody who wants to query it. That means people outside of Wisconsin will have the ability to query and get voter information from the state of Wisconsin.
What's the title on this bill?
Well, in the Assembly, it's Bill 895. In the Senate, it's Bill 640.
All right. And where are we right now on it in terms of its being debated?
Well, it has went through a number of committees. I'm not exactly sure on the next step that they're going to be taking or when they're going to bring this about to vote, but it seems to be moving very, very quickly.
Is there a lobbying group behind it?
I couldn't tell you that, Bob. It looks, though, very much like the Democrats are pushing for this. Mm-hmm. And based on some of this information, that would concern me. There are some good things to this bill. One of the things that it extends is the ability for military and overseas voters to actually vote in our primaries. They don't have that ability right now. Extends that to them. That's a wonderful thing. We want our military to be able to participate. Another one of the worrying aspects of this bill is that it allows local clerks to create places besides the county office or city office for voters to go and do absentee registration.
Wow.
Okay? So all of a sudden now the county, the local political movement in that county can decide that they want to go and hold absentee ballot voting at a campus, college campus, in a retirement center,
right.
At a military base, wherever this is.
Or Joe's Bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of telling people that they need to go ahead and make sure they're registered to vote and so on, this is just opening the doors for an awful lot of people to perhaps vote who really shouldn't be. I'm all for making sure that people have the right to vote.
Right.
We just need to make sure that only the people who have the right to vote vote.
Exactly. I'm talking with Ben Kuehmichel about the two bills coming up. We'll identify them again. We'll be back in a moment or two from now with Ben to talk more about those two bills and a little bit more about the April 15th Tax Tea Party coming up. I'm Bob Burrell for Seven Rivers Talk. Hi again, I'm Bob Burrell with Seven Rivers Talk, and my guest here in the second segment is Ben Kuehmichel, software engineer. I've brought a excellent explanation about the two bills in front of the Senate and in front of the House that you want to be aware of. Check in your newspapers, check in your media. Those two bills are?
It's Assembly Bill 895, Senate Bill 640. You need to be able to contact your representatives here in La Crosse. That's Jennifer Schilling, in La Crosse area, also Dan Kapanke. If you're elsewhere and you need to have information about who to contact, please email us at eagleandit@yahoo.com, and we'll be able to get the information in your hands about how you can contact your legislator about this issue.
Thank you very much, Ben, for being my guest. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Bob.
Look forward to having Ben back again. He's beginning, I think probably he's going to become the political guru here of Seven Rivers Talk. He has a good explanation for a lot of these things. You take good care. We look forward to seeing you next week with Dave Ross, running for Lieutenant Governor of the state of Wisconsin. I'm Bob Burrell, saying so long.